Do you remember the 21st night of September? There's RBI number 100 for Ozzie. Ronald breaks for second. He gets there easily. Olson deep, gone with his 53rd home run of the year. We will remember dancing in September and how the Stars stole the night away. Never was a cloudy day as the Braves chase the Nats away. Next on Bally Sports. Braves baseball on Bally Sports is presented by Truist. Back in D.C., Braves Nats game 2 of the series. Ready to come at you from Nationals Park. Back in the broadcast booth, Brandon Gaudin, Jeff Francoeur with you. Great game last night for Atlanta. 10 runs, 18 hits. The offense was on track. Max Fried looked good in his start. Tonight, Jeffrey, an interesting pitching matchup. Patrick Corbin goes for Washington, and when he has thrown against Atlanta, he has really struggled.
No, he has. Look, and we know the Braves hit lefties, and they hit him at a great clip, but Corbin has especially struggled against this Braves lineup. And you take a look here at 4 guys between Ozzie and Olson and Arcia, and of course Kevin Pillar getting the start in left field tonight, that have done a great work against Patrick Corbin. 0-10 with a 7.11. So you figure let's get some runs, because you got Charlie Morton throwing the slap tonight. Charlie has done a great job against the Nats in his career. And with the news on Max Fried, which I'm sure we'll get to a little later, it's even more imperative for me, Charlie, the last 2 starts, to throw well and to get positive going into the postseason, because he's going to play a big role.
Braves going for win number 99 of the season tonight here in Washington, D.C. We are ready to bring you all the action. It is a special night tonight. And why is that, Jeffrey?
It's the Friday Night Showdown.
And who's it presented by?
Kaiser Permanente.
That's right. And it's coming at you next on Bally Sports. Is brought to you by Toyota. Let's go places. By the Georgia Lottery. Today could be the day. And by Delta Airlines. Keep climbing. Now we've seen a lot of that this year. Homers and steals from Ronald Acuna Jr. He is on the 40-70 watch right now. 1 homer away from 40 this season. A couple of stolen bases away from 70. And he is at the top of the Braves lineup yet again. And the lineup is presented by your local Toyota dealer. Sean Murphy will catch tonight with a lefty on the mound. Kevin Pillar will start. He will bat 9th and be out in left field. And as we talked about before the commercial break, the lefty on the mound is Patrick Corbin.
Yeah, we showed you earlier, not great numbers against the Braves. Last 4 starts, you see, gave up 6 runs and 8 runs. Last 2 starts actually have not been bad, 6 2/3 and 6. But of course, he's coming with you, that fastball slider.
And Ronald Acuna digs in. Friday Night Baseball here. Game 2 of a 4-game series. And off we go. There's a slider on the outside corner, 0-1. Atlanta winning last night 10-3, pounding out 18 hits, the Braves offense in yesterday's victory. Corbin wanting to throw Ronald some sliders here to start the game. 34-year-old lefty, 11th year in the bigs, been around since 2012. 291st career start for Patrick Corbin. Ronald 1 for 6 last night, had a triple, stole another base. And he takes it high and outside for a 2-2 count.
And Patrick Corbin, kind of the one guy left over really from that team back in 19 that won it all.
And Corbin was the winning pitcher in Game 7 that year against Houston. He threw 3 innings of shutout relief. But since then, since the start of the 2020 season, it has been a struggle for the lefty. Hammered, left field, gone! Ronald Acuna, another truly historic season. 40 home runs. Fifth player ever in baseball history with a 40-40 season.
Enjoy the moment, Ronald. Not only that, a bullet. And that thing wasn't even 10 feet off the ground.
A laser to left field. And Ronald has done it. Well, we say he's done it. Now Ozzie follows by slapping this to left center. And he has done it because 40-40 is an amazing accomplishment, but 2 steals now away from the unthinkable 40-70 season.
Look at that, man. Great to see. 3-2 and just hangs one of those sliders. He's trying to go low and back foot it. Big Al giving him some love.
And he deserves all the love he can get from that dugout. Depositing the 3-2 pitch over the left field wall. So Atlanta starting things off with a bang here in game 2 of the series.
I didn't know if that was just going to be high enough to get out of here because of how low it was, but unbelievable. Like you said, 2 steals away now, 40-70.
Austin Riley skies this, but it will get out of play. Ronald's homer was over 116 miles per hour off the bat. The other members of the 40-40 club, Jose Canseco back in 1988.
Alfonso Soriano.
Alfonso Soriano in 06. A-Rod in 98 and Barry Bonds back in 96. And this ball may go. Correction, this ball will go a long way. 3 batters in, 3-0 Atlanta.
Well, what a perfect night, huh? Perfect way to start the night. Ronald gets his 40th. Ozzie gets on, and Riley absolutely tees off in the left center.
And now that one nearly doubled down the right field line off the bat of Matt Olson. 37th of the year for Austin.
Oh. Fastball that crept back over the middle of the plate.
Corbin knew it right away. Well, we showed you the numbers, but Patrick Corbin, his last 11 starts against the Braves, he's 0-10 with a 7.11 ERA, and he's already down 3-0 here and has not recorded an out. That stretch includes when he threw against the Braves on opening day this year here in D.C. on March 30th, and the Braves won 7-2 against Corbin. He is able to get Matthew Olson here on a slider downstairs. Another look, Jeff, at the Acuna homer.
Well, when you're facing him, you know for the most part it's fastball and that slider. And he got ahead of Ronald 0-2. Boy, you see, I think it's the most we've seen Ronald celebrate something this year, as far as almost like a relief that he got that 40th. I remember we were actually playing, I think, the Nats in 06 when Soriano I think he got his, it was one of the two. He got either the 40th homer or 40th steal to complete it. He was the most recent one, right?
Yes. Yeah, 06. Ozuna bounces this to Abrams. So 2 away as Corbin settles back in. Here is the 40-40 club. Yep, Soriano in 06, A-Rod, Barry, and Jose Canseco.
But I think what's unbelievable is to show you how hard it is to do it. No one's done it multiple times. Every single person, only one time.
And Ronald has 22 more stolen bases than the next closest, Alex Rodriguez.
I think this last couple weeks, Ronald has put his stamp on the MVP.
Yeah, I think it started with the series out in Los Angeles.
Yep. And again, that was Betts coming off that month of August where he was just couldn't get him out.
He set a Dodgers record in August for the most hits.
Yeah, but Ronald's kind of taken over.
You saw that sky here in D.C. It looks nice, but don't be fooled. There is rain and a lot of it on the way. Just hoping to get tonight's game in before the monsoon starts. Right now 70 degrees with winds around 15 miles an hour. Orlando Arcia lifts this to right field in front of the track. Lane Thomas has it. But the Braves with a great start. A memorable homer for Ronald Acuna Jr. Number 40, a laser to left field. Ronald, and then a 2-run blast from Austin, 3-0. Let's get you the lineup for Washington, presented by your local Toyota dealer. Abrams, Thomas, and Meneses will be the first three, just like they were last night. A couple of changes at the bottom, with Alou getting the start. And it's Charlie Morton on the mound. His 30th start of the season, 14-12, 26 starts, or 26 decisions in the 29 starts for Charlie.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's 4 more decisions than he's ever had in any season in his long career. Facing C.J. Abrams, who was 0 for 5 last night. Charlie gets behind him here, 3-0. Three and 2. Charlie battles back. A leadoff walk to Abrams. Jeff, what are tonight's Ford keys?
Well, from an offensive standpoint, I was going to say keep the streak going, and that was the great work off Patrick Corbin, which they did. And for Charlie, continue the dominance. He said it since 21. We showed you on the open, 4-0 with a 2.45 against the Nats for Charlie. And those are the keys.
Thank you. Presented by our friends at Ford. Lane Thomas now settles in, and Charlie throws the curve in for a strike. But yeah, the weather tomorrow will be interesting. Braves supposed to have a 1 o'clock start here, and then a matinee on Sunday to finish off the 4-game series. But they will be certainly monitoring the weather closely overnight and in the morning. Both teams do have an off day on Monday.
Don't even bring that up, okay?
That's reverse jinx. That's what it's called. Runner goes. And a stolen base for C.J. Abrams.
Well, Murph never had a chance on that one. That was a good jump, and Charlie kind of had the high leg kick on that pitch.
Well, since the second half of the season has started, this whole Nats team, including Abrams, has been running a lot more. He now has 43 stolen bases on the year, but 29 of those have come in the second half. And in that span, that's actually the most in baseball, more in the second half than Ronald Acuna Jr. A lot of speed out there for the Atlanta native, C.J. Abrams. Now Lane Thomas fouls that away. 2-2.
Well, look, this is what, second youngest team in baseball, you said? They're athletic. Why? I mean, they don't have a lot of power, so yeah, take advantage, steal some bases.
Davey Martinez said that about a month ago. Try to mix things up, force the issue in the second half. Yeah, they have the second fewest home runs in baseball. Only Cleveland has fewer than Davey Martinez's Washington Nationals. And Charlie Morton able to strike out Lane Thomas for the first out in the bottom of the first.
Well, he barely got a piece of the curveball before, and this time Charlie started it just a little bit more outside. Let it sweep down past that white line. Good curveball.
And now the DH, Joey Meneses. Meneses played at first base last night, and Ruiz was the designated hitter, but Ruiz catching tonight, and Meneses in the DH slot. He got behind Abrams 3-0, and now he's behind Meneses 2 batters later with the same count. It's a walk, so 2 of those through the first 3 hitters.
Man, I think that's one thing you don't want to see. Charlie had gotten out of the streak a little bit. He had that 4 or 5 start streak where he was walking 4 or 5 guys a game. And again, you might get away with it today versus some of these guys, but you start doing that versus good lineups. Doesn't end well most of the time.
Yeah, Jeff, the walk stretch where he had really a lot of issues was the end of July, the beginning of August. But then against the Yankees, Mets, and Rockies, he walked a combined 4 batters.
Yep.
But now the last 3 starts, he's gone 3 walks, 4 walks, 5 walks, and now 2 here in the first inning against Washington. Well, here's Dominic Smith playing at first base tonight. He was out of the lineup yesterday. Charlie does locate a curveball on the inside corner. Dom comes in on a little bit of a hot streak. He's hit homers in 2 of his last 3 games to get to 11 homers and 44 runs driven in this season. Line drive foul down the first base side. Braves getting 3 runs in the top of the inning, and they have this season given Charlie some run support in the first inning. 30 runs the Braves have scored in the first inning during Charlie's 30 starts, helping him to get off on the right foot. But he's got 2 on with 1 out here, and he's going to step off the rubber. Charlie's 1-2, and he misses outside. Nice crowd here on a Friday night at Nats Park. Bigger crowd than they had last night, understandably this being a Friday. Pretty good weather. A little chilly, but all in all pleasant.
Yeah, it's Friday Night Showdown.
Presented by
Kaiser Permanente.
Never miss a beat. This ball is struck well to right center field. Acuna, though, at the wall, has it. A scary out, but thankfully just an out off the bat of Dom Smith.
Well, lucky that wind is blowing in that way. And you see the flags blowing kind of out to left a little bit, because that's usually the part of the park where we see the ball fly here at Nats Park, is towards that wall.
But high enough that the wind knocked it down and kept this game at 3-0. So now you've got Abrams at third, Manessa still at first. And here's the catcher, Ruiz.
Now, when you hit him the way that Acuna and Riley did, I'm not sure it's going to matter. Hit it hard and low enough to drive it through, but still, the wind is helping you a little that way, at least not hurting you.
Yeah, but you're right. It's going to be harder to get balls out to right center tonight.
Going right into the teeth of it. And up here.
Yeah, papers are blowing around up here in the broadcast booth.
Oh,
heads up over in the camera well. I think everybody's okay down there. Well, the way that thing was curving in, it almost hit Ruiz. It's almost a defensive swing. Charlie, a strike away from getting out of it. And he's going to get out of it. Right back to him. And the Nats strand a pair at the corners.
Placed on the 15-day IL with a blister on his left index finger. He said after the game last night that he could feel the fluid building back up in that finger in about the 6th inning. And so he will now have a couple weeks, guys, to try and get that under control. Snit said he feels confident that the training staff should be able to do that. And one of the positives is he will still be able to keep his arm moving and he will be able to throw with a bandage on that finger. But they are certainly looking at the postseason now and getting him as healthy as possible here down the stretch.
All right, Kelly. Yeah, certainly big news, disappointing news as Harris tries to bunt. But hopefully you get him back for the first round of the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's not ideal. You know, maybe he's not going to be the max that goes 7 innings in the playoffs that first game or whatever, but, you know, you wondered last night if it got, you know, his last inning or so, he started to labor a little bit, missing a little, but it's just kind of, you know, it's one of those things that's tough because you're trying to figure out, like Kelly said, he's still going to be able to throw some, he's still going to be able to do this, but, you know, you hate that he's not going to pitch in a really meaningful game for over 17 days probably. That's a little tough, but, you know, if there's someone that can do it, Max has the ability to do it. We saw him take a long, three and a half months off and come out versus the Cubs and throw 72 pitches in 6 innings against that lineup. So, again, it's not ideal, but this is the hand you're dealt.
Well, and even if you get him back, and again, it looks like they will.
Oh, yeah.
But maybe it does change how you line up the first couple of games pitching-wise in that opening series.
Yes, I would think so.
Michael Harris the other way on a 2-2 pitch for a leadoff single in the second.
You know, talking to Snit today, we were able to see him. It's just like it's always something, you know, and it is for most teams this time of year. Great piece of hitting by Michael going up to get that fastball.
How about those glasses tonight?
Yeah.
From Money Mike.
Keep the wind out of your eyes.
He now has 4 hits already in this series, 4 for 6. Sean Murphy connects to center field, but the deepest part of the ballpark, Young will take it for the first down. Well, they're just going to have to be careful with Max here over the next couple of weeks. Just try to get that blister and hand as healthy as they possibly can. Already action in the Braves bullpen with Michael Tonkin getting up. Certainly that makes you wonder right now
that's not good.
What Charlie reported when he got back to the dugout. Boy, right after we just finished with the Max Fried news.
I was just about to go through some scenarios, and now I'm just going to shut it.
Well, the Brain Trust talking through speculation, but got to be the situation going on with whatever's happening with Charlie Morton. Michael Harris caught laning, and they've got him in a hot box. Tag is applied, 2 away.
Got him. I got a theory, but of what's going on. Possibly, I hope. You know, if you decide that you just set a rotation, because I didn't see anything wrong with Charlie. Be honest with you. And I you know, I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't speculate. Maybe I'll just be quiet.
Well, yes,
I'll tell you my theory between innings, and then we can figure out if I should tell my theory on air.
We'll workshop it. Hopefully we'll be able to get some kind of a report here in the relatively near future.
Just remember, today's Friday, and if you keep Charlie on regular rest and he throws Wednesday next week, season ends Sunday, so he would not throw again.
Right fielded foul off the bat of Kevin Pillar.
So forget it. I'll go ahead and tell you my theory. What my theory is that today acts like a bullpen day. You could start him on Tuesday in Atlanta, then let Strider throw Saturday and Morton throws Sunday in Atlanta. You get the final 2 starts of the year. You keep them on rotation into the playoffs.
And then maybe push Max back.
Maybe Max, maybe something like Game 3, or give him time to. Or at least gives you the option to do either one. Because obviously, no matter what, Max isn't thrown during the regular season anymore. The only thing I can get, I saw nothing wrong with what he was doing. Velocity was there. He didn't look like anything was labored. I really hope my theory's right.
Boy, we all do. Right now, Tonkin is loosening and getting ready in a hurry as a 3-2 pitch comes into Pillar. Nice play on an in-between hop by Vargas. Well, we'll see who comes to pitch in the bottom of the second. Into the game in the second inning here. So Charlie Morton goes just the 1 inning. Walked a couple of guys, 24 pitches, no runs. And now the Braves turning it over to the right-handed long reliever. When we find out more information on the decision, we will pass it along to you.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I hope I'm wrong, but the only thing now is they're giving Tonkin plenty of time, which goes as an injury when you do something like this. So whenever we get details, we'll share it.
Right now, it's a 3-0 game here. Atlanta leading as we head to the bottom of the second inning. With Max going on the IL today, as we said, it's a 15-day IL, so that means we know he won't pitch the rest of the regular season. He will be ready, or can be ready, I guess I should say, is a better way to phrase it, for the first series of the postseason for Atlanta. And the corresponding move today, Darius Vines was recalled from Gwinnett. But now fellow starter Charlie Morton out of the game after an inning, and Michael Tonkin is ready to face Luis Garcia. Second baseman Luis Garcia takes a pitch on the outside corner. Charlie Morton, we are told, was removed from tonight's game with right index finger discomfort. So Max Fried, a blister on his left hand, that's causing him the issues. Not saying it's a blister for Charlie, but it's the same index finger on the throwing hand. And I'm sure with the news of Max, they are being extra cautious with Charlie.
Yeah, I don't know what to say.
Well, yeah, like you said, there's no reason to speculate.
Index finger.
You just got to wait and see.
Yeah, let's just move on.
2-2 pitch coming here from Tonkin. This will go in the seats down the left field line. It's obviously a starting rotation that has overcome a lot this year, with the 3-month absence of Fried, the 4-month absence of Kyle Wright.
Oh, for sure. You've had plenty of the young guys step up. Alan Winans, Dodd, Schuster. I mean, 16 guys.
16 starters.
There's Vines. We talked about him.
You figure Vines will get an opportunity soon after being recalled today.
Well, now that this has happened, you might see him tonight. I don't know.
See what they can get out of Michael Tonkin, who has thrown a couple innings or more over 20 times this year out of the bullpen.
Well, we talked about it walking in, the two of us, where tonight, honestly, with what the weather forecast is going to be tomorrow, you can kind of throw your pen knowing there's a good chance you might have an off day tomorrow.
Harris over toward the gap, and he's got it for the second out. Yeah, it's very likely with Tropical Storm Ophelia bearing down in the D.C. area that tomorrow's game
when you get a storm named after you, like,
that's not a good sign.
That's
when they're saying gusts of winds to 40-45 miles an hour and 100%
good thing we
chance.
played golf today. Yeah, there'd be some tough knockdown shots tomorrow.
We would have still made it through 18.
We would have played.
Yeah. Just been a Caddyshack sequel out there.
40-mile-per-hour wind.
You setting a course record. Jake Alou, the left fielder, getting the start here after sitting out last night. Rookie who made his debut back in May, but then he was demoted back to AAA. He's yet to face Atlanta. This is the first at bat of his career against the Braves. One-two from Michael Tonkin. Shallow left center, softly hit, and it drops. So a 2-out single for Alou. Mentioned all the times that Tonkin has gone over 2 innings this year. He's also gone over 3 innings on 5 different occasions. Most pitches he's thrown in any outing this year, 52.
And again, I think if I'm Brian Snitker right now, trying to possibly look at getting 3 innings out of him. He still tends to do a pretty good job of keeping that pitch count low.
A ball and a strike here to the 9th man of the order, Jacob Young. Young drove in one of the 3 Nationals runs last night in the 10-3 Braves win. Well, Michael Harris will camp and take in front of the track for the 3rd out. 3-0 as we go to the 3rd. Ronald Acuna, Zaxby's indescribably good play, his 40th homer of the season. 116 miles per hour off the bat, and Ronald understandably was fired up. Got Atlanta off to the great start, and then 2 batters later, Austin Riley hit a 2-run homer to make it 3-0, and that's where we stand as we go to the 3rd inning.
How many times this year have we seen them start that way? I mean, just right off the bat.
Well, the Braves now this year, Jeff, have 140 first inning runs.
Yeah.
13 more than the previous franchise record. And this man is a big reason why. The National League record for first inning runs is 147, set by the 2000 St. Louis Cardinals. The Braves are just 7 away from that. Ronald has it fair down the left field line. A homer in the 1st, a double in the 3rd for Acuna, and the MVP stats just keep racking up.
But you know what's funny is when you know you're having an unbelievable year is when you hit home runs and doubles and your OPS goes up like 2 points. Another just one of those sliders that didn't get to that back foot. Ronald turns on it.
And now Ozzie, who singled back in the 1st inning. That first pitch fouls it away. And speaking of that OPS, Ronald leads the National League, obviously in stolen bases, but also in OPS. Only 2 players in Major League history have led their league in both stolen bases and OPS. Ricky Henderson and Willie Mays. Ronald has a chance to become just the 3rd to ever do that. You ever heard of those guys? Ricky Henderson, Willie Mays?
A couple times.
Pretty good.
Yes.
One here from Patrick Corbin. Now 1-2 strikes now to Ozzie Albies. Corbin was coming off one of his better starts of the year Sunday in Milwaukee. 6 innings, gave up just 1 run. Tough for him. He didn't get a decision as that game went 11 innings and the Nationals would eventually win it. But all in all, over the last couple of years, it has been tough for this left-hander.
I will say this, though. I have bragged before, and I know the numbers haven't been great, but if you go look at Patrick Corbin in his career since 2017, every year, 32 starts, 33 starts, 31 starts, 11 obviously the 1 year, but it was COVID, so that was a full season. He has always taken the ball, though, and thrown it. And I give a lot of credit to that, especially the last 2-3 years here in Washington.
Ozzie Albies hits this well to right center field. Thomas over, and he's got it on the track. Ronald tags. Oh, that was close. Vargas is asking the bench to take a look at it. Boy, Jeff, Ronald sprinted back to second to tag up late.
Because like anything, usually that ball's either off the wall. I think he got in, which he did. But I'm telling you, that ball is dying to right field. Ozzie hit that ball well. And that's the thing where Wash is going to tell him, though, we need you to slide on that. More than anything is for safety reasons.
That was very close.
Yeah. But you can see that ball just dying out there in right field right now.
Now the infield will come in here in a 3-0 game. Although the third baseman Vargas a few steps behind the bag. Riley, a 2-run homer back in the first inning. Getting back to Corbin, though, you remember after the 2018 season, he was coming off an all-star campaign in Arizona. He was a hot commodity.
Well, he had a great 19. He did everything in the postseason for him. You know, Scherzer and Strasburg, for the most part, started the whole time. He would start, relieve.
Austin Riley hits this into the teeth of the wind, but it's going to do the job. Ronald will come home, and Atlanta has a 4-0 lead.
Well, great job doing exactly what you needed to do right there by Austin Riley. Pretty good job, ABC baseball. Double, get him over and get him in.
And Riley has driven in 3 of the 4 tonight for the Braves. But yeah, after that 2018 year, though, that's when several teams wanted him. The Nats outbid the Yankees prior to the 2019 season to get Corbin. They gave him a 6-year, $140 million deal. And had that solid 2019 where they won the World Series.
Well, for years, by far the best slider in the game. You would see he would lead by 50, 60 strikeouts on that pitch. But he also was more 94, 95. The ball sank on the fastball. It just doesn't have the velocity that he did. That's the biggest thing you see with a lot of guys like this. When you lose that velocity on your fastball, you know, that slider that was so nasty, you don't have to start as soon. You don't have to commit, so it gives you more time. You're not swinging at that one as much. And you see that's been his career. Sinker, slider.
Fastball there misses to Olson, 2-2. That contract that he's on, that expires at the end of next year. They owe him $35 million more in 2024, and then the contract will be over. But as you said, one of the couple of holdovers, one of the veterans that they've still hung on to from that World Series team.
Well, that's what Dave Martinez said. Look, the one thing I can tell you is that the young guys learn you got to post every 5 days, and he shows me that. Regardless of if you're getting hit or not.
And in today's game, that's a rarity.
Very rare.
Corbin in a battle here with Matt Olson. 2 down in a 2-2 pitch. Off his glove. But a good play at third base by Vargas. Braves get another run, though, as we head to the bottom of the 3rd. Braves baseball on Bally Sports is presented by Truist. Game 2 of the series. Atlanta winning last night 10-3, and right now enjoying a 4-0 cushion. Bottom of the 3rd. Brandon Gaudin and Jeff Francoeur. Kelly Kroll with you from Nationals Park. Michael Tonkin going back to work with the top of the order he faces. Abrams walked and stole a base in the first inning. And if you're just tuning in wondering where Charlie Morton is, he left after 1 inning with right index finger discomfort. So Tonkin came in for the 2nd and now the 3rd innings. the other way, and even if Riley got to that, he was not going to be able to do anything with it. Single for Abrams.
Well, and that's the thing, I think, for Abrams as he continues to grow, get experience. He's gone through the growing pains this year, but with his speed, they give that whole left side over there. I mean, that's a knock for him 10 out of 10 times. Unless he trips and falls, no one's throwing him out. So I think for him, he can start using that to his advantage, use that speed.
He's got a bright future, C.J.
Oh, he's
Abrams.
a great athlete, got power.
His dad played college basketball at a small school in Kentucky, but his dad's first love was baseball. So when CJ was really young, he put a baseball bat in his hands, had him hitting Nerf balls and balled up socks around the house down there in the Atlanta area, and it certainly paid off. He would go on to be the 6th overall pick in 2019.
Well, they did a good job this year of really letting him go through some of those growing pains. If you remember early in the season, he was making a lot of errors at short. And Dave Martinez just said it's part of the game. He's got to learn. He's got to get through it. And I think he's come out the other side.
This one's trouble. Thomas sends it to the wall and left. Abrams will be held at third. But a double for Lane Thomas.
Yeah, this was all location on this pitch. Tonkin got ahead 0-2 and tried to throw a sinker. And look at that. I mean, that's middle up in the zone. And that's kind of what we talk about sometimes. You know, 0-2, you cannot make those type of pitches, man. You just make it too easy for the hitter.
So now Tonkin will have to bear down here. Joey Meneses is the batter. Oh, we mentioned Darius Vines was just recalled today from Gwinnett, and he has just got up in the bullpen and started to loosen.
Well, it's like anything, Brandon. At some point, you have to have someone cover a bulk of an inning. And whether that's 3, someone that gets you the 4th, 5th, 6th, whatever it is, that's just where they're at.
Yeah, we'll just see what happens with the Charlie Morton development. It could be interesting pitching wise for Atlanta here over the final 9 games of the season. Well, this will score the first run of the game for Washington, but the Braves will trade an out for it. 4-1.
Yeah, not only trade an out, but you keep Thomas at second base. Now it's going to take a base hit to score him.
Now Dominic Smith turns on it, sends it foul. I want to thank our great clubhouse man Al Lark for bringing me a zip-up jacket up here in the booth. It was a little chilly, and he brought it all the way up to the high heavens here.
No, it's freezing at 67 degrees.
Appreciate. You just love throwing me under the bus. I'll wear it. That's fine.
It was mid-50s back early in the season.
It's not that cold, but I'm more comfortable
very
now.
comfortable.
Yes. Yeah. Well, the great member of our crew, Drew Jenkins, to my left, he has a Patagonia fleece on, so I don't feel that bad. 0-2 is rolled to the right side. Ozzie with a backhand. 2 away. Thomas up 90 feet to third.
And that's the perfect reason you got that big out and kept him at second, because ground ball now is just an out, gets him to third. And if you're talking after second, third, and no outs, Brandon, all of a sudden, if you can get away with just 1 run, that's a job well done.
He's facing Ruiz, the catcher, who grounded out back in the first inning. Well located strike, sinker outside corner, 0-1. And the 0-2 from Michael Tonkin. Further outside there, slider misses, 1-2. The bullpen had been scuffling a little bit coming into the National Series. Over the previous 6 games, where Atlanta had lost 5 of them, the bullpen had given up 25 earned runs and 24 2/3. The bullpen held serve last night, and now certainly the Braves are going to need the bullpen for 8 innings tonight.
Let's hope, right?
You mean no extras?
No, I mean that way we win.
Oh yes. Good correction, Jeffrey.
It's the second time this game that Ruiz has hit one right into the dugout. Turn and burn.
The last time he faced Charlie Morton, now he faces Michael Tonkin. Another 1-2. We'll do it again. Ruiz, 25 years of age, but last year was his first full season at the major league level. Had a couple of cups of coffee in 20 and 21, but didn't stick. But hung on last year, and now another full season at this level. Left field, this one's going foul.
Got to keep the lead too. We need a Jesse Chavez appearance tonight and see him in the bullpen cart. They honored Sean Doolittle before the game as he retired, and he rode that bullpen cart in like he used to.
And Jesse promised you he would take the bullpen cart, right?
Yeah, he said, I'm 40 now. I can take it in.
They always have it out there for the relievers as an option, but nobody ever takes it. Jesse says he will do it, and it will be must-see TV. Again, the 2-2, and now the count worked full. Well, still 3-2. A battle here, Tonkin and Ruiz. 40 pitches now out of the pen for Michael Tonkin. Sean will give it a look, but the at bat still goes. "3-2" is hit out to center field. It'll hang up for Harris. He's got it. Good job by Michael Tonkin to keep this a 4-1 game after 3. Atlanta a couple of homers tonight and a 4-1 lead. We told you this last time. Let's take a look at the strong arm, brought to you by John Foy and Associates. How about this? Best single season home run differential. Atlanta at the top right now.
Well, Yankees didn't have the John Foy strong arm. That's unbelievable when you think about the 27 Yankees and what their ability to do. Braves hit 2 or more home runs in 81 of their 153 games this season. And I think one of the more impressive stats that we don't talk about, Braves have 85 homers with 2 strikes. It's one thing when it's 2-0, 3-1. To be able to get that approach, cut your swing, and still hit for power says a lot.
Yeah, when you pull up 2 strike at bats, the Braves lead the majors in pretty much every category, which is different than last year.
It's the biggest difference. That's why I go back when you really break down that series versus the Phillies last year. Wheeler, Nola, they were striking some guys out, weren't putting the ball in play, and I think this team has changed that.
Hard hit off the bat of Ozuna, but Abrams takes it for the first down. So Marcell grounded out to Abrams in the first. He lines out to him here in the fourth. It's good to see Orlando get 3 hits last night. He was 2 for his previous 30. But he looked much better swinging the bat in game 1 of the series.
Yeah, he needed that night last night.
And good contact here, but a nice play by Vargas. I'll tell you what, he's looked pretty sharp over there at third base tonight.
That's a big save. That was a double all the way. A good job of getting himself under control here too. Some guys sometimes get that and try to get rid of it right away, and then you throw it into the stands.
He's a utility guy. They move him all around. Second, short, third, left field. Did not play last night, but a couple nice defensive plays this evening. Now Money Mike, who is 4 for 6 so far in the series. Another well hit ball. However, it's taken by Alou, and Corbin has a 1-2-3 inning. Bottom of the fourth here at Nationals Park. And Atlanta got just the inning out of Charlie Morton before he left with the finger discomfort. A couple from Michael Tonkin. And now the young rookie, Darius Vines, his 4th major league appearance.
Now you see the 11 innings, only 2 walks, 8 strikeouts. Had that start in Colorado, his first one. And again, you think now you're in the 4th, you would hope that he can cover 2 to 3 innings for you and try to get you in towards that part of the pen. And because of the offense, they've got him a nice 4-1 lead.
Yeah, that start in Colorado that you referenced was back on August 30th. Pitched really well, 6 innings, got a win. And then the last 2 games he pitched were out of the pen, September 6th and September 9th against St. Louis and Pittsburgh. And now he comes on here against the Nationals on September 22nd. Oh, 1 to Luis Garcia is downstairs 2-0. And Jeff, he's not going to wow you. That's a 90-mile-per-hour fastball. He really needs to rely on the location.
That's everything for him.
Little bloop single out to left field. Pilar did all he could, but Garcia reaches.
Well, and because of the wind and the way it's going now, the wind is kind of blowing in almost from all directions a little bit. So that ball just kind of died. Care how fast you are, no one was catching that one.
Tropical storm Ophelia starting to make its effects felt here in the capital city. I always wonder how they come up with all those different names. There's some system.
Yeah, I haven't heard that one too much.
Ildemaro Vargas, who has made a couple of nice plays defensively, is 0 for 1 at the plate tonight. He flew out back in the second inning to center field. Runner goes, and that one gets by Olson. It was smashed off the bat of Vargas.
This is trouble.
It's going to score a run.
Get him.
Vargas for third. Well, the tag is late, and he's got an RBI triple.
That's the toughest play right there when you're talking infielders. If you're Matt Olson, you're covering first, you do your little shuffle, and that ball was smoked, as you said. Inner half. And whenever you see it go down there, and especially Ronald was shaded in the gap.
So now it's 4-2, and it's about to be 4-3. Harris is able to get this off the bat of Alou. We've got a one-run ball game. And now the rookie Jacob Young, who debuted less than a month ago. So you've got the 25-year-old rookie Darius Vines facing the 24-year-old rookie Jacob Young. And the 2-0 pitch is inside 3-0. A 1-out walk.
And that's not what you wanted, at least from the 9-hole there. You want to try to make him put the ball in play in that scenario.
Quick pep talk from Sean Murphy. Vines, a 7th round pick by the Braves back in 2019. Getting an opportunity here late in the season. Top of the order, Abrams. Runner breaks for second.
Oh,
close, but they say Jacob Young got in there safely.
Well, you know what? I'll tell you what, even if he is safe, this is the best throw we've seen from Murph in a while. I mean, that thing was right on the money. And I think he just got that hand in. Look at this thing.
Yeah, it's a perfect throw. You couldn't do any better. Abrams is now perfect 8 for 8 when stealing bases since being called up. And he's going to tag at second here. Harris fires a cannon over, but Young is safe, 2 away.
I mean, I hate to say it, we talk all the time about wanting to get ground balls. Tonight at this point now, I'm almost throwing fastballs and saying go ahead, go to launch mode if you want, because like I said, now the way the wind's gone, if it's anywhere left center, center right field, that ball's just dying.
And that wind is not going to die down. It's going to continue and just escalate into the late night and early morning hours. Lane Thomas doubled last inning. He's 1 for 2. Tying run 90 feet away. And now a 2-2 count on the Nats right fielder. Lane Thomas, 26 homers, 84 runs driven in. He's in search of number 85 here. Eighteen pitches, 9 strikes, 9 balls so far for Darius Vines. And now a 10th ball and a walk for Lane Thomas. Joey Meneses now with runners at the corners. Joey got his team leading 87th RBI last inning. Runner goes for second, but he'll have to return as Meneses fouls it 1-1. So the Braves have just controlled the series over the last few years with these Washington Nationals. And entering this series, Joey Meneses was the only Nats hitter with a career batting average of .250 or better against Atlanta.
You know, he's trying to paint that outside corner, and it's just he's missing off the plate, and even when it's right on the edge, he's not getting that call.
Here's his 2-1. And that one is downstairs. A changeup misses. 3 balls and a strike. Braves pitching has already issued 4 walks. Charlie with 2 in the first inning, and now 2 from Vines, and threatening to be a 3rd here in the 4th inning. And it is another walk, and the bases are loaded. Rick Kranitz will come out. Well, what makes this even tougher with the Charlie Morton news of him leaving after the first inning, Jeff, is if tomorrow's game is postponed and you do have a doubleheader situation on Sunday, your bullpen could really be taxed in a 2-game situation.
Yeah, but I mean, that's why this late in the season we've seen it. Different guys continue to come up every other couple days to give you an extra fresh arm. And again, with the rosters expanded, you do have 14 guys available.
Dom Smith will be the 8th hitter in the bottom of the 4th for the Washington Nationals. Braves clinging to a 4-3 lead. Good stop by Sean Murphy. they're starting to stir in that Braves bullpen. Vines, good job coming back there, making it a 2-1 count. Three balls and a strike and nowhere to put Dominic Smith. Three and two, a cutter right down the middle. Dominic Smith, the former New York Met, in his first season here with the Nats, looking to give his team the lead or at least tie the game. He's going to call time. Payoff pitch from Vines. Got him. Struck him out with a cutter. And the bases are left loaded. Last night, right now up 4-3 as we march on to the 5th inning here at Nationals Park. 8-9-1 coming up for Atlanta, starting with Sean Murphy.
Well, see if they can tack on a couple here and try to get a bit of that lead back.
5th inning tonight is presented by Audi.
Or Audi, whichever one you want to go with.
Or Audi. Just either way. We need to get you in a brand new Audi. Just to seal the partnership. I think you'd look good. 4 kids in there.
Tight
Shades
squeeze.
on.
Tight squeeze.
Oh, get one of those nice Q8s. Patrick Corbin is still out there. They do have Weems up and loosening in the pen for Washington. Sean hit the ball hard back in the 2nd inning, but flew out to center.
Well, I think, you know, the one worrisome for Dave Martinez might be the Cunha, Albies, Riley combo coming up for a 3rd time with Corbin. You know, that's the one thing he's got to make decisions with. When you got a young team, they fight back like this, get in games. Sometimes you got to put them in the best opportunities to win, and if that's going to some of those stronger arms in the bullpen, you might see that.
Well, here's a leadoff walk to the Braves catcher. Now, as we said last night, even though the Nationals have struggled on the year, 68 and 86, it's a big improvement over last year, and they are playing 500 ball since the All-Star break at 32 and 32. Kevin Pillar, first pitch grounded to Abrams. High throw, but he did get down in time, did Garcia.
Thought he just was able to get back down.
It was close. Sean's wondering if they want to check it. They do not.
Yeah. Remember, sometimes it might have been almost a tie, but at the same time, if the original call's out, that's going to stick. Yeah, that's going to be it.
68 pitches, and Corbin is headed for the showers in a 4-3 game. Fifth player ever in baseball history with a 40-40 season. Ronald is our Xfinity game changer tonight. And not only a celebration in that Braves dugout, but an even bigger celebration in Ronald's hometown in Venezuela after he hit the 40th. Pretty cool, huh?
Man, that gives me chill bumps. You think a lot of those people in that hometown, especially some of the older people, knew Ronald when he was about 5. And to be watching him do it at the highest level, and like I think both agree in MVP, it's pretty incredible.
Ronald born there December 18th of 1997. And now look at him at 25 years of age on the cusp of a likely MVP season in the National League. And he will be facing the new pitcher in Weems, who has come out of the bullpen for Washington.
And he should be fresh because he rode the cart in, didn't have to run. I wonder if they're doing that to honor Sean Doolittle tonight.
Whatever the case, he's the first in the series to take the bullpen cart from right field.
It's such a great thing because then he's got to run across onto the mound. So he's had a good year. Again, I think this is where Dave Martinez owes it to his team, and you're seeing him go to these righties.
Yeah, but Weems has been one of the bright spots in the bullpen, and you're right. I think Dave Martinez is saying, hey, let's try to win this thing.
Yeah. Again, if you remember, I'm sure they're 32-32 the second half here. I saw a long-time GM here, Mike Rizzo, before the game downstairs, and was talking to him for a little bit. And that's what he said. He said these guys are learning how to play, and they're getting better.
Pilar at first with 1 out here in the 5th inning. Atlanta jumped out to a 3-0 lead. Acuna started it in the first inning with that homer you saw, and then Riley 2 batters later had a homer of his own. But the Nats have battled back. 96-mile-per-hour fastball. This kid Weems, he's from Columbus, Georgia. Went to Columbus High School, less than 120 miles south of where the Braves play at Truist Park. Was drafted as a catcher out of high school way back in 2011 by the Red Sox, but then he was converted to a pitcher during the 2016 season. Another fastball, and still 1-2. He keeps pumping those fastballs in there, and you just feel like at some point that may cost him.
Yeah, he's got good run on it, and he is very confident. But again, it's a dangerous pitch with Ronald if you show too many times.
Ooh, that clipped him. Yep. Thankfully, just a glancing blow. Barely caught the jersey. Let's see if Atlanta can get some of those runs back. 2 on 1 out, and here's Ozzie. Ozzie, right field. This thing's going to stay fair, and it's off the wall. Pilar's home. Ronald is stopped at third. But Ozzie Albies is having quite the series. He already has 6 hits in 9 at-bats, and he's driven in 5 runs.
I tell you, he has been both sides of the plate, obviously, but the last 2 nights, any ball that's been middle, he is turning on beautifully. Last night, a triple shy of the cycle. Now a double off the wall to drive in a run.
Just missed his 32nd homer of the season.
The Braves fans doing the chop now.
And we saw that a good amount last night.
I'll close the book on Corbin. So 5 runs for him. So that streak versus the Braves of ERA continues to stay high.
Corbin 0-10 in his last 11 starts against the Braves with over a 7 ERA, and the Braves were able to get to him again tonight. Now let's see if they can continue the onslaught.
As we saw Lawson last time hit a sac fly to right field.
And he had that 2-run homer back in the first inning.
He's now at 95 RBIs, so another guy that's chasing 100 of those. 37 long balls now, so only 3 away from 40.
Fantastic season.
Yeah, they continue to just stack the stats.
Just up and down the lineup. Infield is in here for the Nats. 2-2. This should work. Ronald ready to tag. Thomas firing home. But Ronald gets around, slides in safely, and Atlanta leads 6-3.
Usually that would have been a lot easier of a sac fly, but because of this win, Thomas let that ball go, threw it well, but it tailed on him, and Ronald was able to score. And just another tack on run. Those are the little things in the playoffs that you're going to have to do, be able to put the ball in play.
And now 4 runs driven in tonight for Austin Riley.
Wasn't Ronald's most graceful slide,
but it worked. So you still have a runner out at third in Ozzie, and now Matt Olson. Gosh, between Ozzie Albies and Austin Riley already in this series, they've combined for 10 hits and 11 runs driven in. That's production.
It's not bad in what, 14 innings?
Yeah, that is production from the 2 and 3 spots in the order. And this guy Matt Olson had a homer last night, his 53rd of the season. And remember, for Matt, now 132 RBI. That ties Gary Sheffield's Atlanta Braves record. So if he can knock in Ozzie, he will hold a new record in that category as well. Mike with those shades and that headband. What a combo. Payoff from Weems. And Olson draws the walk. Tell you who's not fazed by Tropical Storm Ophelia coming in is the Big Bear. He can just anchor down and take it. While they chat out there, we get a quick message from Texas Pete.
Texas Pete. Sauce like you mean it.
Some big games around baseball tonight as we get closer and closer to the end of the regular season. Mariners and Rangers starting a 3-game series today. There are huge implications not only for the AL West but the AL wild card with that matchup.
Yeah, they played 7 of the last 10 days. They finished with a 4-game series in Seattle. So that'll tell you a lot right there. One of those, that could be one of those 2 teams out and in. Milwaukee's got a nice 16-0 lead on the Fish down at the tank. A couple touchdowns and 2-point conversions.
0-1 to Marcel. Meanwhile, the Twins, they can clinch the AL Central with a win tonight, which would be their 3rd division title in the last 5 seasons.
Yeah, I saw where Rocco Baldelli had Twins right before the postseason, the manager for the Twins.
How about that?
Yeah,
Twins for the
Twins.
skipper. Maybe that'll bring him luck. Generous call there from home plate umpire Ramon De Jesus.
Yeah.
Braves with 2 runs in here in the top of the 5th. Ozzie down at 3rd, Matt Olson at 1st. And Jordan Weems with a 1-2 pitch to Marcell Ozuna. And Ozuna is late on a 98-mile-per-hour fastball. We are halfway home at Nationals Park.
Where the 5th inning is presented by Audi.
Well done, Jeffrey Francoeur.
I had to.
Redemption.
Yeah, I felt like it.
Redemption.
I know Gretchen was nervous.
Why don't you take the rest of the night off?
All right, Nick.
Oh, no, don't. Please stay here. This broadcast needs you. Ruiz is the only guy who didn't bat in the 4th inning when the Nats sent 8 to the plate. So he leads off in the bottom of the 5th.
Well, and the team just gave you 2 runs back here, and I know we laughed, but for Darius, he's a young pitcher right here. You got a great defense, wind blowing, throw strikes tonight, just like that.
Just like that.
Good job. I mean, I'm telling you, I remember a lot of those guys, especially like Glav and Maddox, would talk about, that weren't power pitchers when the wind was blown like this. Let those hitters think they can get to launch mode, because it's going to take a line shot to be able to get. We saw the 2 home runs, both line drives. Ozzie's down the double down the right field line on the line. Those are really the only ways you're getting those balls out there.
And you've got a lineup in the Nationals that has hit the 2nd fewest amount of homers in the majors this year. This one is on the ground. Bang, bang play, but they got him. Garcia out by a half a step.
Yeah, he got him.
Good stretch by Matt.
I'll tell you, that's such a nice thing of having a tall first baseman like that. He's able to do that. We saw that last night.
Vargas had the RBI triple his last time up. Ozzie over. Well, Darius Vines, well done. 1, 2, 3, bottom of the 5th.
Throughout this series about Davey Martinez and the high praise he's had, not only for what this Braves ball club is doing, but who they're led by. And of course, Brian Snitker. And he said he was a coach over with the Braves when he was there, of course, in 01. And he goes, now in watching him from afar, one of the things I really admire most and have tried to even mimic myself is the way he is always the same, guys. He talked about his consistency and his demeanor. He doesn't ride those highs and lows. And it was kind of funny because you guys remember how fiery Davey was as a player. He certainly started out that way as a manager, and so he had a lot of high praise for him. And I think bringing him on that All-Star. Of course, he got to coach under Snit that year. They did it in 21 after the 21 season, and he said that really meant a lot to him that he brought him on because Davey didn't get to do that, right, because of the COVID year. So, and then Frenchie, what did he do when they won the division this year?
I don't know. You tell me.
No,
I don't
you
know.
heard the whole story.
Oh, did they give him a bottle of champagne?
That's what I hear.
I didn't know you were telling the story. It's all my fault. I stole the thunder.
You stole the lead.
I did. I stole
Kelly.
the thunder. I feel bad.
At least you got a chance to apologize formally in front of the nation. Robert Garcia is the new reliever, and Orlando Arcia lines that foul. Yeah, pretty cool, that relationship.
Yeah, there's a lot of respect there.
Yes.
And they're both baseball guys.
And Davey Martinez, longtime outfielder in the major leagues. He bounced around a ton, but he ended his 16-year playing career as a Brave. 1 year in 2001, then he got injured in 2002 before retiring.
I did tell him, though, a while back, it impressed me when he got thrown out and he got down on the ground like a catcher.
Well, sometimes you got to make your point.
That's what Snit was joking with me. He said, if I did that, I would not be getting up. I'd have to call the trainers out. But, yeah, he's done a good job here to go through what they did in 19, and all of a sudden you just literally go completely the other way in a year.
Abrams deep in the hole. And the throw is going to take Smith off the bag and get by him. And it's going to go into the camera well, and that means Orlando will take second base.
Well, I think Abrams made a beautiful play here, and Vargas was kind of standing there. And Abrams, watch this right here. See how he was, you couldn't really see it from that angle, but kind of was in his way a little bit.
It goes as an error for the shortstop. And Orlando's in scoring position.
Well, it's got to be a hit and an error, right? No?
Yes, hit and an error, yes. Braves have 7 hits now to the Nationals 5. Time for our Coors Light Beating the Pressure feature. Michael Harris having a nice series, and you look at 15 career games here at Nationals Park. Michael's hitting .357.
Yeah, it's pretty incredible. Over 1,000 OPS. Michael's hitting .329 against the NL East this season. The 9-game hit streak.
Just a lot to like. He really has turned it on since the early part of June. Hitting .341 since June the 7th.
I'm trying to remember who the other 2 players were. Do you remember we gave that stat earlier? Because Michael's now up to .295.
Oh,
and only 2 guys in the history of baseball had ever been under 200 go after June
and
or after their
100,
150 plate appearances and hit over 300. Do you remember?
I don't. One was from way back, and I cannot remember either guy, though. Yeah, you gave that note about 6 weeks ago or so.
Yeah. We'll get it for you.
Cliffhanger, 3-2. The other thing is what Michael's done against left-handed pitchers this year, Jeff. Last year he hit .238 against lefties. This year .298.
Well, and that's the thing now. When you talk about facing a lefty, between him and Matt Olson, they both hit lefties great. So that's why you see the Braves have the numbers against southpaws that they do.
Garcia's payoff is hit to right field, and charging Thomas takes it for the first down.
I think those 2 names. One was a Hall of Famer, I remember. I'm gonna figure it out.
Get on your laptop and look it up. Oh, wait, you don't have
I
one.
got to buy one first. I'm thinking about purchasing it this offseason.
You don't even have Uber on your phone.
No, that's my way. Yeah, because that way you have to get it.
You don't have
Smart.
You don't have Venmo.
No, I do not have that. I have cash.
You are a cash guy. I will say that you always have cash. As the Hard Rock Casino in Cincinnati can attest to. No balls and a strike to Sean Murphy. Now the Braves tonight, if you are tuning in late, lost Charlie Morton after the first inning. Just had some discomfort in his index finger on his throwing hand. So it's been the bullpen since. But the offense providing 6 runs so far and looking for more here in the top of the 6th inning. This lefty Garcia, 6'4", claimed off waivers back on August 1st from Miami. And he fires a slider in there. 2-2 to Sean Murphy. Into the wind down the right field line. And Thomas, you can tell that wind swirling. He adjusts to make the play, and Orlando Arcia jumps up 90 feet. Oh, he thought about trying to surprise him, but stays put.
Let me tell you, that ball kind of, Thomas was going so hard to the right, the ball almost, because of the wind, he almost overran it. Watch this. Had to go back a couple feet.
As a right fielder, Jeff, were these just nightmare nights?
Well, yeah, because again, it's how that ball was high, so the wind's going to affect it more. And you just, you know, when you're used to playing, you just don't get it. This is high. There are high seats here, so you usually don't get the wind affected too much here. You go to Wrigley, some of those places, you know what you're getting into.
What was the #1 rule you would say to yourself on a windy night like this? Was there like a cardinal sin that you just wouldn't commit?
Yeah, I think you got to take a step back first. We saw it last night in that one thing. If you commit and come into a ball and then it's over your head, you're done. Where the other way, look, you don't want it to drop in front of you, but usually it's a single and you can live with that.
Kevin Pillar fouls it back 1-2. Atlanta scoring at least 6 runs in a game for the 77th time this year tonight. Trying to add on with a runner down at third and 2 outs here. As you might imagine, that's 77 times scoring at least 6 runs. That is the most in Major League Baseball this year. One-two from Garcia. And Pillar gets a piece, stays alive. Garcia has been pitching well last 6 games spanning 7 innings. He's gotten a couple of wins out of the bullpen and has not given up any runs. And the opponents have been hitting just 2 for 22 against him in that stretch. Kevin Pillar, a few foul balls here, keeping it 1-2. That's a good postseason look for KP though.
Mock tee.
Underneath the navy, that's a great combo. With the high navy socks. What an addition this guy has been, Kevin Pillar. This is kind of what he does. He drives pitchers crazy. Orlando down at third. The 9th pitch of the at bat is fouled away, and there will be a 10th.
Battling.
A veteran outfielder who turned 34 back in January, making his 39th start of the year tonight for Atlanta. And finally, not a foul ball, but a pitch high and outside, 2-2. A foul ball fest. Feel like he deserves a knock and an RBI after this performance. 12th pitch of the at bat, 2-2. And guess what, folks? It's a foul ball. Souvenirs for everybody. The inning started with Orlando reaching on the single and the throwing error. He got to second. Now he's at third with 2 away. Kevin Pillar trying to drive him in. Wow. Well, we had a 13 pitch at bat earlier in the game with Keibert Ruiz facing Michael Tonkin, and now here we go again. Had 13 in this at bat. Pitch number 14. And he finally gets it. Fastball upstairs, runner stranded on to the bottom of the 6th.
Yeah.
September 22nd, and it is the
Friday Night Showdown.
Presented by
Kaiser Permanente.
Braves Nats from Nationals Park. Brennan and Jeff upstairs in the high heavens, Kelly downstairs on earth, and the Braves leading 6-3 as we go to the bottom of the 6th inning. 8-9-1 here in the order. Darius Vines back to work. So one of the Braves beat writers, Mark Bowman, good friend of the program, he reports regarding Charlie Morton exiting after the first inning. He says Morton's finger ailment is not a blister. He felt something in his index finger while throwing a curveball. The X-ray was negative, and he'll have an MRI tomorrow. Again, that is per Mark Bowman.
Making sure you say that in case Bo's wrong.
Just want to make sure that stating the information is not coming from the Atlanta Braves. It's coming from the great Bo. But we will wait and see those results tomorrow, but thankfully the X-ray negative.
Yeah. So for good news.
Lou, who sends this fair, just stayed fair. And he's going to turn and head for third. He's going to get in easily. 2 triples tonight for the Washington Nationals.
Man, talk about pulling the hands in. That ball was way inside.
And he just got it inside the chalk. He's at third base. It is the first triple of the young career of Jake Alu. And what is his 44th major league game tonight. And now another rookie, Jacob Young.
Did him a favor there, got him to chase.
Now slider well outside. And then he gets him to chase another slider. Well, that one was good at the knees, 2-2. This will not produce a run. Matt Olson takes it. And there's the first out in the bottom of the 6th. So back to the top of the order for the Nationals. Darius Vines his 4th major league appearance. And if you would have told him at the beginning of the season he would have made it to this level this year, he may not have believed you, because he had a slipped disc in his neck. Didn't need surgery, but a lot of rest, a lot of treatment to begin the season. And didn't make his season debut until early July, after being on the IL to start the year, and was limited to just 43 innings this year across 3 minor league levels before finally getting the call at the end of August to make his debut in Colorado. And now being called on for extended relief here in Washington. As Kelly reported after Darius made his first start, when he got the call from Gwinnett manager Matt Tuiasosopo that he was getting called up for the first time, he had just finished golfing, was starting to pack for Gwinnett's trip for Memphis. He said, "No, you're packing for Colorado instead, partner." This is going to score another run, but the Braves will trade for the out. It is 6-4, and there are 2 away.
Wonder if he asked him, "Can I take my clubs with me?"
Some great courses in the Denver area.
Let it fly. Denver Country Club.
You know every course in every city.
Yeah, Drew Jenkins, who's up here. Me and him went and played at Denver Country Club. Big Hollis.
Did you go low?
A couple pen huntings.
Lane Thomas pops this up just into the outfield grass. Orlando has it. The Nats get 1, but the Braves still up 2. Atlanta Braves baseball is brought to you by Georgia Drive Chevy, by the Xfinity 10G network. The future starts now. And by Visit Mississippi. Wanderers welcome. Big night for Ronald. Number 13 hit number 40 back in the first inning. He's also doubled tonight. Let's take a look at our Alpha Insurance best coverage. Ronald over his last 21 games, now 11 homers, 22 runs driven in.
Yeah, and he's scored at least 1 run in 16 of those 21, and 11 home runs since 8/31, which was Ronald's wedding day.
That's right. The quick wedding out in Los Angeles before he made history. Andres Machado threw last night out of the pen, and he will throw here on back-to-back nights. He becomes the 4th Nationals pitcher in this ball game. Ronald has scored all 3 times he has reached tonight, so he now has 143 runs scored on the season. Most since Alex Rodriguez scored that number, 143 runs in his MVP season back in 07. And it's an all-time Braves record. The previous Braves record was 132 by Dale Murphy back in 1983, but Ronald has cruised past that. Lifts this in the air out towards Thomas. And Thomas takes it. First time they've retired Ronald tonight. I think that's the play, though, with a wind. If you're a pitcher, just get somebody to hit it in the air to right field.
Dead center or right field, and you're going to be just fine.
In addition to being a great friend and broadcast partner, Jeff is also an amateur meteorologist. Have you checked up on Hurricane Ophelia?
It's right. Well, first of all, it's tropical storms.
Yes, I'm sorry. You are. See, that's why you are the resident amateur meteorologist.
But
yes.
it's about to hit us. It's going through the Potomac River, about to crush us.
Stirring up that Dover soul.
Yep.
You want to go get a rod and reel and head out. 2-1 to Ozzie.
Let's get 9 quick outs in about 35 minutes and we should be good.
Two balls and a strike here to the Braves second baseman. Ozzie hits it into the teeth of that wind.
That's what I'm telling you. That ball was hit well. And you can go ask Ozzie after, squared up, but it just, anything over there is just dying. Look at him smiling.
So a fly out to right, a fly out to center. 2 outs, and now Austin Riley, the batter. Hope you packed your poncho, Pop.
I couldn't plan on going outside tomorrow, to be honest.
Up the middle, backhanded by Garcia, but he will not get Austin Riley. It will be a 2-out infield single.
That would have been that was going to be a heck of a play if he was able to make it. Good job shooting it right back up the middle.
Austin continues his fantastic start to the series. He has driven in 4 of the Braves' 6 runs tonight. Now he stands at first base as Matt Olson comes up. Stay tuned for the stretch, fueled by Georgia Natural Gas, coming up after the top of this inning. Machado 3-0, nowhere near. 4-pitch walk, and the runners will be at first and second.
Big Bears do.
Yeah, he had a tough night last night, 4 strikeouts, and he's 0 for 3 tonight with a strikeout. Still with 35 homers and 87 driven in this year for Marcell Ozuna. Now Machado's having trouble finding the zone, so Ruiz is going to go out and talk to him. And Marcel's having fun with Ramon DeJesus. You know, we were talking about the playoff picture, Jeff. The Padres have actually won 7 in a row, season best. Now, technically, they still could get a wild card spot, but they're 4.5 out. But that's a team that it's almost too little, too late.
They're done.
Yeah, I'm saying there were so many high expectations for them, and they're just peaking too little, too late.
I told you still got to look at the run differential. They're like plus 60, plus 70, something like that. They just
plus 82.
Plus 82. Sorry, for whatever reason, they just haven't been able to gel and get it going.
And not that it matters, because ultimately they probably won't be in the postseason. But you look at the 3 teams sitting just above them in the wild card standings, Miami, Cincinnati, and San Francisco. Their run differentials are minus 42, minus 47, and minus 29.
Yeah.
Padres are plus 82. Ozuna, hard hit, right center field. Through the teeth of the wind and into the seats. A 3-run homer, and Atlanta has opened it up. It's 9-4.
I'll tell you right now, that ball was absolutely ripped to get out of here to right center. He was trying to go in, left it right over the middle of the plate, and you can see Marcell absolutely smoked that thing. Oh, kid almost made a beautiful catch too. Big Bear's pumped.
So's the bench. Yeah, with that wind.
That's to hit it through their opposite field too. You're not talking about pulling a ball.
And Marcell now 36 homers and 90 runs driven in this year.
112 off the bat.
Well, you said the Big Bear was due.
He was. Big Bear looked mad.
He did. The salmon were not out today in the Potomac. Orlando reaches for it. Abrams boots it. The last time Orlando was up, Abrams had a throwing error to first. Now he has a fielding error with Orlando at the plate.
Yeah, this is one of those when you see it sometimes, think young kid here, because you see how he did that. He could have easily got in front of that ball with his, and he knows it. He had plenty of time.
So the inning continues for Michael Harris. Actually, they did score that a single for Orlando. Sometimes those things get reversed later, but for right now it is a hit for Orlando Arcia.
It's a very nice single, huh?
I guess Orlando will take it. His 5th hit of the series. Well, the Braves last night 10 runs, 18 hits, and so far tonight 9 runs on 10 hits. Oh, called strike. That may be an Ophelia strike that sends us to the stretch. Marcell Ozuna, though, a 3-run homer, and Atlanta on top 9-4. Let's look at a beautiful spray chart of those 40 homers. StatCast 3D, powered by Google Cloud. Off they go.
Well, again, so much power to any part of the field for Ronald. A lot of those home runs between short and second all the way, which you love. Gap to gap, that means you're staying inside the ball, and for him, that's where he's got all his power. Again, what a night, what a year. If you didn't see it, cool video we had a little bit ago of his hometown celebrating his 40th.
Yeah, they were having a watch party the last couple of nights waiting on number 40. Just a very cool moment. And very neat to see those people celebrating in Venezuela. So Darius Vines back to work here. He's now over 50 pitches at 55, and he's facing 3-4-5 in the Washington order. Matt Olson trots over there, but it's going to go a few rows deep. Joey Meneses has walked twice tonight, and then he had an RBI ground out back in the third inning. That RBI back in the third for Meneses gave him 87 on the season, and the Braves have 5 players with 87 or more runs driven in. Olson, Acuna, Albies, Riley, and Ozuna, who now has 90 after hitting that 3-run homer here in the top of the 7th. Austin Riley waits back on this. High throw, but Matt able to apply the tag.
Great play. Kind of sailed on him, and Matt was able to get down and just get him on the stomach.
Well, you said it earlier, it pays to be 6'5".
Yep. And that's going to be a 3 1/3. A good job after that first inning by Vines, as Brad Hand's going to come in the game.
Atlanta enjoying a 9-4 lead. Brad Hand is on, and he will face Dominic Smith with 1 out in the bottom of the 7th inning.
Yeah, let Vines get the righty and then bring Hand in to face Smith.
But yeah, Jeff, you said it. Good job. Darius Vines settled down, really started to pound the zone and got good results. We'll see if Brad Hand can continue that. A ball came onto the field and right. Ronald's cleaning that up. On one bounce, Ozzie Albies. That's pretty efficient for Brad Hand. 1 pitch, 1 out. A quick message here from Georgia Drive Chevy.
The all-new Chevy Trax, starting at $21,495. Chevrolet, proud partner of the Atlanta Braves.
Keibert Ruiz now with 2 outs and nobody on. One of Jeff's papers just flew right out of the booth. Someone's going to get a surprise in the deck below us here. Was that important?
Nah, not really.
Wasn't your tax work or anything?
No, I don't think so.
That's good. I know you like to draw circles. Maybe they're just
starting to get a little windy up here now.
Yeah.
We're getting into tropical storm territory.
The rains, they are a-coming. This ball is going to trickle foul. And when the rain does come,
it's not going to stop.
Yeah, that's true. Also, I'm going to need you to help protect my laptop up here. A new bat. And an 0-2 count here on Keibert Ruiz, who is 0 for 3 tonight. 0 for 7 in the series so far. Even though Ruiz is 0 for 3, he has made the pitchers work tonight. He had a 13-pitch at bat back in the 3rd inning against Michael Tonkin before flying out. Sean Murphy has just enough room to send us to the 8th inning. For Atlanta lead. Fans remember to vote for Matt Olson for the Roberto Clemente Award presented by Capital One. Vote today. MLBtogether.com/Clemente21. Matt, the major league leader in homers and RBI, but tonight the other guys have done it. Particularly the top of the order. Acuna, Albies, and Riley have really helped lift Atlanta to this 9-4 lead. Sean Murphy, did he get hit again? Or did that hit his bat?
I think it just nipped the bat.
He's been hit more than anybody else in the National League 18 times this year. Oh, unlucky. Good knee flexibility, though. Expect that from a catcher. 0-2.
And that's the thing, when you're scuffling a little like this, you just find yourself getting those little breaks not going your way. The ball just nipping the bat. Now you're 0-2.
See, Joe La Sorsa, who's just recalled today, is the pitcher. Started his season with Tampa Bay, debuted, major league debut back at the end of May for Tampa. Then they let him go. Nationals claimed him off waivers, and he's inducing a ground out to third base here to start the 8th inning. A quick message from Zaxby's.
Zaxby's Southwest Salad is more than just a salad. It's a flavor fiesta.
La Sorsa was just sent back down to AAA Rochester a week ago and then recalled today and instantly put to work. A 1-1 count on Kevin Pillar. Now, Kevin called time just before that pitch was thrown. Into the wind in right center. And it hangs up for Young. Tomorrow and Sunday scheduled to be matinees here at Nationals Park, but we'll see what tomorrow brings with a very wet forecast. It might mean a full day of college football for our friend Jeff Francoeur, who will sit in a pool of his own slobber for 12 hours.
that 12 o'clock. Clemson FSU, man.
Well, we're neighbors at the hotel. I might just come knock over, bring a pie.
Well, you'll know who's scoring, that's for sure.
And you got to get geared up for Coach Prime and the Ducks.
Yep. A lot of good games on tomorrow.
And we'll see if the Braves are one of them. Ronald Acuna, the 40th homer back in the first inning. He doubled in the third. Got hit by a pitch and scored in the fifth, and he flew out in the seventh. And he's going down here swinging to in the top of the eighth. Your local Ford dealer. By Georgia Natural Gas. Live the greener life. And by Truist. When you start with care, you get a different kind of bang.
9-4 Braves as we move to the bottom of the ninth. Of course, Austin Riley, a couple of hits for RBI already on the night. And in catching up with him this afternoon, he said one of the things that has been very different for him, he said night and day different, is how his body and his legs feel at this point in the year versus the same time last year, guys. He goes, that shift has made all the difference for him because it's not like you're leisurely jogging over there. He goes, you're sprinting. You want to keep the timing for your pitchers the same. And he goes, there are so many different things between just the physical side, but also the mental side. He said he feels so much better at this point in the season.
And the numbers bear that out.
Yeah, you can say that.
Pilar charging, cannot get there. Oh, it got by him. And Garcia runs pretty well. But he's going to stop at second base.
That's one of the, again, that's so tough because of that wind. You're running as hard as you can, and it just keeps dying as you're going after it.
And it took a bad hop on him.
Kind of stayed down and spun.
Brad Hand still out there in relief for Atlanta with Garcia at second base, and now Vargas with nobody out here in the home half of the eighth inning. Fouls the ball into the seats or off the netting. Ildemaro Vargas, career high 62nd start tonight. He has bounced around 7 seasons in the bigs, but he's only played in just over 300 major league games. Nationals are his 5th team since he debuted back in the 2017 season. Just trying to find a home. 1 ball, 1 strike to it. Brad Hand with a slider for a strike. 1-2. And Brad Hand takes care of Vargas there with another slider. Let's get a quick message in now from Delta.
On behalf of our Atlanta-based crew, go Braves! Delta, official airline of the Atlanta Braves.
Nice night for Jake Alou, a single, a triple, and he also had an RBI sac fly. Announced crowd tonight of over 36,000, but some of them have filtered out as the Braves got the 3 runs in the top of the 7th.
Yeah, final weekend of ball here in Washington.
Next weekend they will be in Atlanta to finish off the season. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. In between, the Cubs come to Truist Park Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. We'll have Tommy Glavine with us for the Cubs series next week. Important games for the Cubs.
Yes, big time. They lost 2 out of 3 to Pittsburgh, but then they shut out Colorado today 6-0. I told you that final 3 or 4 you see there is going to come down to the end. Arizona lost tonight to the Yankees. Aaron Judge hit 3 home runs.
But the Yankees about to be officially eliminated from the playoffs. Alou earns a walk. So runners at first and second.
Yeah, I think that's going to be it for Hand.
Who's going to come in now?
Pierce Johnson.
Huh.
See if he takes the bullpen cart.
Bullpen cart's going over there.
What he needs to do is just stop right in front of the, you know, like you got to get on.
Come on, Pierce. Pierce. Oh. And to Johnson. Will be back. In with 2 on and 1 out here in the bottom of the 8th inning. He's going to be facing the 9th batter in the order, Jacob Young.
Still look at that job with Atlanta on the bottom. .86 ERA in 21 games.
Got that ERA at 4.20, 4.20. Yeah, that started the year in Colorado. That's something. Got all kinds of things going on here tonight at Nationals Park.
And rain on the way.
And rain on the way. Jacob Young is the hitter, and he takes the first pitch. That patented curveball. Johnson throws it and misses outside. Jacob Young, 24 years of age, from Florida State in state to play for the Gators, and then the Nats took him in the 7th round a couple of years ago in the draft. Ball and a strike.
Oh.
Thought Ramon DeJesus may give him that. Atlanta trying to get to win number 99 tonight. 98-55 right now. 48 wins at home, 50 on the road this year for Atlanta. And we are now starting to get a little bit of the light rain falling here at Nationals Park. All right, bringing the laptop in.
Me too. I'll bring mine in.
Yeah. Bring in your iPhone. 3 balls and 2 strikes now. Johnson is the 5th pitcher tonight for Atlanta. Charlie Morton, then Tonkin, Vines, Brad Hand, and now Johnson here in the 8th inning. Payoff pitch from the right-hander. Ozzie Albies takes it on to Orlando. That was close, but Orlando did drag his foot across.
Yeah, he got it.
And the runners are at the corners.
It's a tough one just because Ozzie had to go a little the other way.
Good clip of the bag by Orlando Arcia. Back to the top.
I'd say starting to see some fans leave. It's probably worse too because of the wind.
And Abrams is going to get extra bases out of this, and it's going to score 2. 2 RBI doubles. C.J. Abrams makes the game more interesting here. It's 9-6.
Well, I'm still convinced sometimes you know, as you get going here, especially in the postseason late, some of these hitters, you got to have the ability to throw that fastball so they don't just sit on that curveball.
Well, there's the fastball. Got a good piece of Sean Murphy. Lane Thomas, a double and a walk tonight, 1 for 3. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how Pierce Johnson mixes those pitches going forward, as he has relied heavily and with good success. You saw the numbers, especially in Atlanta, with that curveball. But now Abrams with a 2 RBI double to make this a 3-run game. Ronald Acuna back, and he takes it for the 3rd out. 9-6 on to the 9th. On to the 9th. The top of the order has produced for Atlanta so far in this series. Georgia Natural Gas, Greener Life Impact players, and it is the Braves 1 through 3 hitters. How about these numbers, Jeff?
Yeah, and 10 of the 19 runs scored. Acuna, Albies, and Riley season versus Washington combined 302 with 18 RBIs.
Braves 5-2 this year against the Nats, trying to get to 6-2. Sorsa back to work, and his 1-1 pitch here to Ozzie is way inside on the slider. 2-1. So Ozzie yesterday 4 for 6, hit a homer, a double, 4 runs driven in, and he's got a single and a double and another run driven in here today.
Yeah, well, that's 3 of all 3 balls have been a back foot slider way in.
Ozzie grounds this one to his counterpart Garcia for the 1st out. Austin hit the longest of the 3 Braves homers tonight, but Marcell Ozuna's may have been the most impressive going into the wind in right center. But Austin launched his over the left center field wall back in the 1st inning. Marcell thinking maybe he'll get one more shot here. He would be due up 4th this inning. A ball and 2 strikes, and La Sorsa has him out in front on the slider. 2 away. Now the lefty-lefty matchup with Olson. Soft little pop taken by Abrams. We'll see if the Braves can win the first 2 games of the series when we get back.
For our T-Mobile coverage cam, and the biggest story in baseball tonight, Ronald Acuna Jr. hit his 40th home run of the season. First ever member of the 40-60 club. Look at him, 68 stolen bases, of course, on the season as well. And that guy that you saw catch the ball there in left field, I can report, gentlemen, after some intense negotiations, The Braves have retrieved it, and it will be at Ronald's locker when he's done with this game.
Did you ever find out the final deal?
Did I ever find out what?
The final deal, what the negotiations ended up with.
Oh, I don't know that they'd want me to share all the details, but let's just say he left here like it was Christmas morning,
okay,
gentlemen.
Good for him. You know what? Good for him and good for Ronald.
Did he at least get a gift certificate to Joe's Stone Crab?
If he didn't, I'm going to pass along a sweatshirt that you have given me for the evening and give him one of those. He might like that on the way home.
Kelly, that is a good idea.
Kelly, you take good care of that, Kelly. I need that.
I can't promise it'll be dry, that's for sure.
Hey, Raisel Iglesias is on for what could be his 30th save of the season if we can get 3 outs in a 3-run game. He's facing 3-4-5 in the Nationals order. There's a strike to Joey Meneses. Well, 3 outs to go, but Jeff, if you can get this win after losing Charlie Morton following just 1 inning, you got to feel pretty good.
Yes. And you were able to get some of the bullpen, some innings down there. Darius Vines, 8 3 1/3 for you.
Tonkin 2, Vines 3 1/3, then Hand, Pierce Johnson, and now Raisel Iglesias trying to finish things off. And a good start. Fastball high. Meneses swings and misses. There's the rain. It is supposed to continue overnight and all day tomorrow.
Yeah, and with the wind blowing too. So I said get 2 outs right here and it's called a night.
That was a single to center field off the bat of Dom Smith. So Raisel Iglesias, if he does close the door and still some work to do, would be the 30th save of the season. His career high in saves is 34. He's done that a couple of times in his career. Needs 2 more outs here, facing Keibert Ruiz. Ruiz and the Nationals are going to make him earn it. Tying run's going to come to the plate here.
They're jumping on that fastball. Middle.
Sorry for laughing.
The papers are flying everywhere.
Paper just flew right in my face up here in the booth. So the tying run coming to the plate. This one fouled out of play off the bat of Garcia. Scorebook soaked. Electronics are soaked. Raisel and the Braves just trying to hang on for dear life before the tropical storm takes over D.C.
Trace here pretty dry over here. Just in the corner. No wind getting us.
Thanks, Jeff. That's
no problem.
That's helpful.
A little double play ball.
Well, 1 and 2. Take a strikeout as well. Supposed to be a 105 first pitch tomorrow, but stay tuned. Check everything. Check social media. Swing and a miss. Big second out. He gets Garcia there on the changeup.
Yeah, set it up by that fastball. Threw some good ones to him, got him late, and then pulled the string on him. Tailing away. Nice job. One more.
Vargas is the last hope for the Nats. Out in front. Change up again from Raisel.
Well, some of these young hitters, you see Iglesias trying to get ahead. So if they're going to start trying to jump that fastball, he's doing a great job of pitching backwards on them.
Change up again, down 1-1. Atlanta jumped out to a 3-0 lead in the first inning with homers by Acuna and Riley, and now trying to hang on here to win game 2 of the series. And they are a strike away. One-two. Popped foul out of play. Vargas is 1 for 4. He did have the RBI triple back in the 4th inning. Iglesias deals, and it's downstairs 2-2. Grounder. Ozzy's got it. Braves win. Iglesias has number 30 as far as saves go on the season. The Braves get win number 99, and Ronald Acuna hits homer number 40 tonight as Atlanta gets the 9-6 victory over Washington.
I'll tell you what, Brandon, what started is not a great night with Charlie Morton leaving after the first. The bullpen did a pretty darn good job of picking up the pieces. Give Vines a lot of credit for sticking through it after that first inning, giving you 3 1/3, and congratulations to Ronald Acuna. 40 home runs, 68 stolen bases, 2 more from just what a magical season.
We will see what tomorrow brings. Right now, though, stay tuned for Braves Live postgame show presented by Xfinity. Coming up next for our entire crew, Gretchen Caney, Mike Miller, our producer and director, everybody else bringing you tonight's broadcast. For Jeff Francoeur, for Kelly Cruel, I'm Brandon Gaudin signing off from Nationals Park, where the Braves win it 9-6. So long, everybody.